Hello everyone, this is Paul and you are watching Billy's Educatilla. In this today video session, I would like to discuss the topic of Floyd-Warshall algorithm. Before going to the topic, do subscribe my channel, like the video and press the bell icon for my notifications. Now let us discuss the topic of Floyd-Warshall algorithm. Coming to the introduction part of Floyd-Warshall algorithm, what is a Floyd-Warshall algorithm? So it is an algorithm for finding the shortest path between all pairs of vertices in a weighted graph. Here I am considering a graph named as A, B, C and D, and we have some edges between the vertices. So this algorithm will find the shortest path for all pairs of vertices. That means from A to B, A to C and A to D. So here the shortest path from A to B is calculated, A to C is calculated and A to D is calculated. This is one pair of shortest paths. And coming to next vertex B. So from B to A, B to C, B to D. So this is another second pair of shortest path from B to the remaining vertices. Similarly for C to D, the shortest path for every vertex is calculated in Floyd-Warshall algorithm. This algorithm works for both the directed and undirected weighted graphs. What is a directed graph? It shows a particular direction towards another vertex. So for example, here I consider A to B in this direction. That means from A to B, the edge value is shown. But in an undirected graph, there will be a single line. That means from A to B and B to A. It shows that there are no directions in this type of graphs, but in these graphs we have some directions. But it doesn't work for the graphs with the negative cycles. What are the negative cycles? When we are going to add the edge values for the shortest path, then the sum of the edge values is equals to negative, then it is said as a negative cycle. When the total edge value of a shortest path is equals to negative, it is termed as a negative cycle. So this Floyd-Warshall algorithm is not work for the graphs with negative cycles. I hope you understood it. This algorithm follows the dynamic programming approach to find the shortest path. What is a dynamic programming? It is like a divide and conquer approach where we are going to divide the problem into subproblems, but the subproblem solutions are stored in a table. Okay, while in divide and conquer we are going to find the solutions repeatedly. Okay, Floyd-Warshall algorithm follows the dynamic programming approach. The time complexity of Floyd-Warshall algorithm is order of n cube and the space complexity is order of n square. Now let us discuss the differences between the various algorithms. As we discussed about the Dijkstra algorithm, it will find the shortest path from the one node to the remaining nodes. In Dijkstra algorithm, we are going to find the shortest path from one node only. But coming to the Floyd-Warshall algorithm, it will find the shortest path from all pairs of vertices, including the negative edge values. So in a particular graph, we have some edge values. Okay, so in Floyd-Warshall algorithm, we have the negative edge values too. Okay, but in Dijkstra we didn't have the negative edge values, but in Floyd-Warshall we have the negative edge values and we are going to find the shortest path for all vertices. I hope you understood it. And coming to the Bellman-Ford algorithm, it will find the shortest path from one node to the remaining nodes and negative edges are also allowed. So the major difference between the Dijkstra and Bellman-Ford is nothing but the negative edges are added in Bellman-Ford, while in Dijkstra algorithm negative edges are not present. So in next video session I will like to discuss about Bellman-Ford. Now let us discuss about the Floyd-Warshall algorithm, which consists of negative edges but it doesn't support the negative cycle. The negative cycle is nothing but the sum of edge values is equals to negative is termed as a negative cycle. So the Floyd-Warshall algorithm doesn't support the negative cycle, but it supports the negative edge values. I hope you understood it. Coming to the example, so here I consider a graph and now let us discuss how this Floyd-Warshall algorithm works. So here I am going to create a matrix named as A such that its dimension is of size n by n. So here n represents the number of vertices. So here we have 4 vertices, and the row and the columns are represented as I and j, but this I and j represents the vertices. Okay, so here I consider a matrix which consists of the edge values from one vertex to the another vertex. So from 0 to 0 we have no edge which is interlinked to it, so I represent the diagonal values as zeros. So you can see that the diagonal values are zeros. That means there is no edge value which is directing towards itself. Okay, from 0 to 1, what is the edge value? Its edge value is 3, so I represented it as 3. From 0 to 2, we didn't have any direct edge, so I represented it as INF. INF is nothing but infinity. As the symbol is not possible, I represent it as INF. And from 0 to 3, the edge value is 7. Here you can see that. And from 1 to 0, the edge value is 8. And from 1 to 2, the edge value is 2. And from 1 to 3, there is no edge, so I represented it as infinity. And similarly, from 2 to 0, the edge value is, so here from 2 to 0 we have the direct edge, its value is 5, and from 2 to 3 its value is 1. Okay, here you can see that. And from 2 to 1 there is no direct edge, so I represented here it as infinity. So similarly you can see the remaining edge values. So in the next step I will say how this Floyd-Warshall algorithm works. Coming to the second step, so here in this second step, so here I am going to create a matrix named as A0 by using the matrix A which was derived in the previous slide. So here in this A0, the first row and the first column and the diagonal elements are same as the previous matrix, that means A matrix, and we are going to calculate the remaining edges by using one intermediate vertex named as K. So initially the K value is 0 as we are taking the A0, so A0 represents its K value is equals to 0. After, in the next step we are going to take the K value as 1. In after step we are going to take the K value as 2, and in the next step we are going to take the K value as 3. So in every step we are going to increment the K value. So by using this formula we are going to calculate the cost of each vertex. So I represents the row and J represents the column and K represents the intermediate vertex. So here for calculating first row, second column, so I am representing I as 1 and J as 2, and I am going to represent I here as 1 and K value is 0 as I said, and here also K value is 0 and the J value is 2. So actually what is the cost of A of 1 2? So the cost of A of 1 2 is 2. Okay, so please notice it. The cost of edge value between the first vertex to the second vertex is 2, and the cost of first vertex to the 0th vertex is 8 plus, and the cost of 0 to second vertex, that means 0 to second vertex, its cost is infinity. So infinity plus 8 is nothing but equals to infinity, but here we have one symbol, so actually infinity is greater than 2, so 2 remains in its position. Okay, so there is no change of this value. And coming to 1 3, what is the cost of 1 3? Its value is infinite. Okay, what is the cost of 1 to 3? Its cost is actually infinite. Okay, and the cost of 1 to 0, so here I am representing 1 to 0 and 0 to 3. So here there is a simple trick. When we are taking 1 to 3, it was divided into two halves, that is 1 to 0 and 0 to 3. This property is known as transitive closure property, which is the basic property of Floyd-Warshall algorithm. So the property which is involved in Floyd-Warshall algorithm is transitive closure property. The cost of 1 to 0 is 8 and the cost of 0 to 3 is 7. So actually the infinity is greater than the cost of 1 to 0 and 0 to 3. When they are added, its value is equals to 15. So 15 is updated here. I hope you understood it. Next, similarly 2 to 1. So 2 to 1 means first it is going to find the cost from 2 to 0. Its cost is 5, and from 0 to 1 its cost is 3. So 5 plus 3 is 8. So here 8 is updated. I hope you understood it. And similarly for 2 to 3. First it is going to find the cost from 2 to 0. After that 0 to 3. What is the cost of 2 to 0? Its cost is 5. And from 0 to 3, what is its cost? Its cost is 7. Actually the cost of second or third column is 1. So 1 is less than 15. So 1 remains in its position. Next 3 to 1. So first it will calculate the cost of 3 to 0. Its cost is 2. And from 0 to 1 it calculates its value is 3. So 2 plus 3, its value is 5. It is updated here. And next coming to 3 to 2. So from 3 to 0 its value is 2 plus, and from 0 to 2 its value is infinite. The cost of third row second column is infinite and the calculated value is also infinite. So here we are going to represent the infinite value as it is. So here I am going to represent the matrix. So the updated values are first row and third column. So here 15 is updated in place of infinite because the cost is minimum when compared to infinite, and here 8 is updated in place of infinite, and here 5 is also updated. And coming to the next step, here we are going to take the first vertex. That means this vertex is considered as an intermediate. Okay, so k value is equals to 1 and I and j values represents the rows and the columns. So here we have the matrix. So this is our previous matrix that was done in step 2. So by using the previous matrix only we are going to calculate the next matrix. So for step 2 we have to take the matrix of first step. For calculating the third step we are taking the matrix of second step. So for calculating the values we are keeping the first row and the first column and the diagonal elements as it is, and here we are going to update the values. First we are going to calculate the value from 0 to. So 0 to. So what is the cost of 0 to? Actually it is infinite. And the cost of the intermediate, that means 0 to 1 plus 1 to 2. Okay, what is the cost of 0 to 1? Its value is 3 plus what is the cost of 1 to 2? That means 1 to 2. What is its cost? 2. So here 5 is updated here. I hope you understood it. And coming to the next one, 0 to 3. Okay, 0, 3. So the intermediate vertex is 0 to 1 plus 1 to 3. What is the cost of 0 to 3? Its cost is 7. What is the cost from 0 to 1? Its cost is 3 plus what is the cost from 1 to 3? Its cost is 15. So this value is greater than 7. So 7 remains in its position. Okay, second row 0th column. So 2, 0. The intermediate vertex is 1, 2, 1 plus 1 to 0. So what is the cost of this? Its cost is 5. So what is the cost of 2 to 1? Its cost is 1 plus what is the cost of 1 of 0? Its cost is 8. So this value is greater than 5. So 5 remains as it is. And next coming to 2 to 3. So 2, 3. So the intermediate vertex is 1 and 1, 2, 3. What is the cost of 2 to 3? Its cost is 1, and 2 to 1 its cost is 8, and 1 to 3 its cost is 15. So 1 is less than 23, so 1 remains in its position. Next, coming to 3 to 0, so 3 to 0 is also remains same. And coming to 3 to 2, so third row second column equals to 3 to 1 and 1 to 2. What is the cost of 3 to 1? Its cost is 5, plus what is the cost of 1 to 2? Its cost is 2. So 5 plus 2, 7. 7 is less than infinite. So 7 is updated here. I hope you understood it. So the matrix in the third step is represented here. So here the updated value is 7 and the second updated value is 5. So in place of infinite, we are going to update the values. And coming to the next step, we are going to take the second vertex. Similarly, in the previous steps, as I discussed, so 2 is taken as the intermediate between the two vertices. So the second row and the second column. So here second row means this row. So I represented 2 as the second row and 3 as the third row and 1 as the first row and 0 as the 0th row. Okay. The matrix for the fourth step is as follows. Here you may notice that this and this values are changed and the remaining values are as it is. Coming to the fifth step, in this step 3 acts as the intermediate between the two nodes. So here third vertex acts as the intermediate. So after calculating the values, here I am representing directly. So at 2 0, its value is changed to 3. Actually the value is 5, but it was changed to 3. And the 2 1 is also changed. Actually its value is 8 and it is updated to 6. So by using the Floyd-Warshall algorithm and the formula, we calculated the shortest path for all the vertices. I hope you understood it. And here you may notice that from 0 to 0 there is no edge, so it is represented as 0. From 0 to 1 the shortest path is 3. From 0 to 2 the shortest path is 5. That means from 0 to 2 means first it travels from 0 to 1 and then travels from 1 to 2. And coming to 0 to 3, it will travels from 0 to 1 and 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. So in this way the shortest paths is calculated for every pair of vertices. Now let us discuss the algorithm for Floyd-Warshall. So here we have n vertices and a matrix of dimension n by n. So in that matrix we are going to take the k value and I value and j value. K represents the intermediate between the vertices and I represents the row and j represents the column. So here we have the formula. So by calculating the minimum, we are going to update the value in that particular matrix and return that value. So if I consider the k value is equals to 1, then I comma j values are also 1 and 1. So first initially the I value remains constant and the j value is incremented. That means 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, as we take 4 vertices. After calculating the j values, again it comes back to I and I value is incremented as 2 and again j values are calculated. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 and again I value is incremented 3 and again j values are calculated. So until the 4 that means the size of the matrix is completed, every value is calculated. After calculation of every value, again it goes back to k and k is incremented by 1. So again k is equals to 2 and I and j values are again calculated. I hope you understood it. If you have any doubts, comment below and subscribe it and like the video and press the bell icon for my notifications. Thank you everyone.